recording.
Hello, everyone. Gosh, it's been a long time since I've done an introduction for a Toonkind at 12 FPS.
Yeah, there you go.
Shit. You know what I forgot? I forgot to practice his goddamn voice.
It's all
We're
good.
just gonna play it by ear. It's fine.
Yep.
Hi. Welcome to. You'll regret that. Um, I Well, I will be playing someone.
Oh yeah.
And I'm joined by Blaze, my wonderful friend.
Hello. Weh. Yep, I am here too. I will also be playing someone. It's not who you expect this time.
um, and so the someone who I am playing is also not what one would come to expect from me.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so there's a sound. It is dark. It is rather close to midnight,
Mhm.
and there's a sound in the shop
Ooh.
of shuffling, of things being moved around. And there shouldn't be. The shop is
Oh.
closed.
Mm.
It closed at, probably 6 p.m.
Yeah, a reasonable hour.
A reasonable hour to
Yeah.
close. Although the workers had stayed an hour afterwards,
Oh yeah, you gotta do the
considering
closing
what kind of
duties.
shop this is.
Yeah, closing duties and all that.
Closing duties, making sure that the project has just one less thing added to it.
Oh yeah.
You hear these sounds. They're quiet.
Hmm.
Not sounds of, someone like a very infamous villain who comes from this town. No, no. Someone who's actually practiced in the art of stealth.
Sorry, you got me just calling out Gil like
well, if I'm being somewhat of the narration here
It's still funny.
for your character,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't they think that?
Quite possibly, yes, but it's still funny. It's very true and funny, but do you want to say which town that is, though? Because we haven't mentioned that yet.
Oh, yes, quite.
Because we're
So
not
this
in Toontown.
town, Illfreycomb,
Mm-hmm.
and this shop is located along one of the main streets.
Mm-hmm. Very proudly so.
hmm So there's some light coming in, at least for you,
Mm-hmm.
where you are.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
And you want to describe your character
Oh, yes, absolutely, absolutely. See, I was able
as
to. See, I'll still
as
toss
they
her.
step into the light.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's somewhat tall for a toon, at least. Not not ridiculously tall like some. She
Look,
is. She's not Marcel.
the the height scale is wildly out of whack, and we can't say what is average for toons anymore.
That's
There are
true.
too many who are ridiculously tall.
This is true. This is true. I'm just saying she's not in the range of Marcel and Larry. That at least covers one end of the scale anyway. But yes,
hmm
she's it's way after close and everything, and she's stayed late because of course she does. It's sometimes you're planning your own projects, sometimes you just got to work on one more thing and you're only going to take 5 more minutes. Oh, it's 2 hours later. It just happens. Or maybe you take
hmm
a rest and the rest went longer than you meant it to, but she's starting to she's coming down the stairs and she's got kind of long brown wavy hair. She's got Ears almost a bit like a minotaur, pointed back, the top with a fluff of brown, much like her hair, and two two main horns coming up, pointing backwards, and then more little nubby horns on either side. And her skin is like a softer sky blue, the kind you get in you slight gill and then you roll that in stealth. Like I guess towards the sunset, a darker blue in color. And
Mm-hmm.
she's very nicely dressed, despite this being a place of work. But even her jewelry is very proper. Like it's nothing too dangly or anything that's going to, snag in
Mm.
anything while she's working. And it's all
Yeah.
very easily cleaned. And behind her, she has a long, swishy, very fluffy ended tail. And should I make a perception to go with that? Or
Yes, make me a
investigation?
perception check.
Okay.
Specifically perception, because you're not in the room yet.
This is very true. This is very true. 1d20. Gotta remember this dice spot. And Persepi? Oh, you're lucky.
So, as you walked into the light, you hear the noises stop.
Hmm. Would she call out or not? Okay, she looks around at first. Obviously, doesn't see anything. She sees she looks and checks like the usual tools and whatnot. Like make sure all like hammers, chisels, different filing.
All of those seem to be in place.
Okay.
All of the usual tools, anyways.
Mhm. Mhm.
One of the drawers seems to be open, and a needle, of all things, is missing.
Well, that's weird. And she definitely noticed that too, because it's just like, okay, you need this sewing needle for this, you need this for that, and then these are the needles you need for carving. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
huh.
It's a sewing needle, specifically one used for leather.
Of course it is. That was just one of her favorites, and she was even using it earlier, so she knew she put it back.
Mm-hmm.
She pauses, her eyes kind of narrow a little bit, and she looks around. Who's there?
Get no answer. But if you want to make me an investigation or a perception check, you may.
I'm gonna go with perception because that's actually higher.
Mm-hmm.
That was what is it? Yeah, there. No, come on, dice spot. 14.
You notice a figure crouching in the darkness underneath underneath a desk.
Mm-hmm.
There seem to be two figures there,
Hmm.
but you don't hear any breathing.
Hmm. Well, she's not gonna think too much of that. You can hold your breath and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna pretend like she hasn't seen them at first. Just kind of continue to like glance around, and she goes over to like some of the bigger tools, and she takes down one of the big hammers.
Mm-hmm. As you glance around, you notice also that two lodestones that are used for the mending cantrip are missing.
She grips the big hammer a little tighter. And what she's going to do is she's going to whirl around and she's going to slam the hammer on top of the desk that these figures are under. And here's the thing, this desk can take this blow. Like, there is just this big wham! And the desk jumps because it's used to taking this kind of torment. This is what this desk does. It's very solid, but yeah, there's just suddenly this just big wham, and the desk
Hold on.
jumps from the
I
impact.
need to make a wisdom save. Whew, wow, okay. So, when you had expected the person or the two people beneath the desk to move, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they kind of, well, at least one of them curled up behind the other, trying to make themselves seem smaller.
You can either come out or you can be driven out. Take your pick. Okay then. And so she puts the hammer, like the top of the hammer, underneath the desk, and she just starts lifting it. So like the front ends of the legs just start lifting up off the ground, and it starts, leaning more on the back legs, like she's just gonna flip the entire table. Her tail is lashing slightly now, like she is not happy with this.
So, you watch as one of the figures darts out and away from you, and the other just sits there.
She drops the table and God damn it, she goes after the one that's moving. She doesn't like this, but she goes after the one that's moving.
Okay, roll. So, are you going to attempt to capture the one that's moving?
Yes.
Okay, make me an athletics roll at disadvantage because it's dark in here, and you don't have dark vision, right?
No, this character doesn't have dark vision. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? No, they don't. No, they don't. Okay. Athletics at disadvantage, you said, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Athletics at disadvantage because you're attempting to grab a dark shape moving in the darkness.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how do I roll? Is this how I... Okay, no, I'll just have to roll again. That's fine.
Yeah, just roll again.
Yeah.
You'd have to get really low to not capture this guy. Ooh.
Oh, she tried apparently. Okay, so you I guess this figure almost escapes, but then at the last second, she just manages to lock her arms around the front of him and just get him in a grapple, or just has their arms pinned to their sides, both hands pressed against their chest. And where do you think you're going?
I don't know. I thought I was going to walk into the moonlight and, have a nice stroll.
Yes, a bit hard to find inside somebody else's workplace now, isn't it?
You presume I was attempting to find a stroll here in your workplace?
Good point. How about you return what you stole?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She kind of tightens her grip around his torso a bit. You sure about that? Seems like you need your memory jogged a little bit. I'm missing a sewing needle.
Roll me an insight check.
Insight? Okay.
Mm-hmm. But you can continue. It's
okay.
just...
1d4. The dice don't seem to like her, I guess. I don't think she notices anything.
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah. I know for
Wow, you must have really startled him into, letting his breath out, because he's definitely breathing.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he's just, yeah.
He's
It's,
also a lot smaller than you expected.
huh.
And a lot heavier for someone who's small.
Eh.
Not a problem for you, of course.
Oh,
But
no.
anyways, continue.
Yeah. Now, I know there's a few things missing around the shop that I know were there when I was down here just a few hours ago. And, since you're the only one here, seems quite reasonable to assume you had something to do with it.
Trying to remember what components are which.
That's fair.
Oh, so that's verbal. Okay. Yeah, but you did not prepare that today, sir.
Wait, does he say that?
No,
Okay.
that's me.
I
Above
figured.
board,
I
being
figured.
like, oh, why didn't you prepare Thunderstep today? I can't very well return anything if you have me locked in place like this. Now, can I?
No, but you also can't get away like this now, can you?
He whistles, and you hear a lumbering sound as the second figure starts to move. And it sounds like they hit their head on the desk.
Well, they're gonna be feeling that in the morning.
But they start moving towards presumably what you think is how these two got in.
So she's gonna get up and she's just gonna walk over and
Still holding him.
oh yeah, he's not getting out.
Okay.
He's not the like. I mean, he's heavy, but like. Yeah.
Make me an athletics check to continue to hold on to him.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Because he's gonna start struggling.
Oh no, yeah. Do the dice not like either of us today?
No. Oh, they like me.
Oh goddamn! Oh, they like me more.
They don't like me more.
Oh,
I got so for our listening audience, I got an unnatural 20, 19 plus 1, but banana. Blaze got a 21.
Oh, so for the briefest moment you think you've got this person has gone to walk over that way, and you're like, yes, this is the opportunity I needed. I'm gonna slip out. And the moment, like for the briefest second, you think you're free, but then she switches her arms up, and she seems to have somehow gotten you in a better hold than she had before. And she's got an even better grip on you now. Like, oh, thanks. Actually, she even says, it's like, oh, that's better to hold you with, thanks.
So I must ask, where specifically is she holding him?
Probably around the torso.
Okay. As she tightens her grip, she hears a specifically sound,
Huh.
and he wheezes.
Oh, calm down. I didn't tighten my grip enough to get your ribs.
You know what's the funny thing is most people are stronger than me think that.
What kind of brittle ass bones do you have?
Obviously not the kind that you have.
Well, I mean, I'm a toon for one, so.
Yes, I know very well about toons. So, anyways, you start walking over towards the lumbering figure.
Yeah, and she just kind of like plants herself between it and the Exodus, like, alright, both of you
It just bumps against you and then continues to move.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like it doesn't understand.
What kind of. Some broken automation or something? What the hell?
Are you going to reach out and touch it?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna. Her feet are kind of claw-like.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of like digs one into the ground a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So she can balance on one leg briefly with the help of her tail.
Okay.
And so she's just like gonna poke at it with a claw because she doesn't trust letting this guy out of her arms.
Mm-hmm. As she pokes it, it's soft. Like it's made of cloth. And it just kind of stumbles back for a moment before starting to move around you.
She puts her foot down and then whacks it in the face with her tail to try and knock it over.
Um, roll me an attack, unarmed strike. Like, roll me a d20,
Okay.
add her strength.
Thank you. Plus. That's a 19.
Yeah. So you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your strength?
18.
Okay. So the modifier for that is
4?
so you do 4 damage. Gotcha.
Oh.
And as you knock it over, it's it's like someone dropped a really heavy doll
Uh-huh.
with the thud that
Uh-huh.
happens.
What in the crate?
Can you please not destroy that thing?
Oh, well, would you please not steal from people? Me specifically. For all I know, what you stole is in whatever this is. So I guess by that definition, this belongs to me.
Alright.
Alright, what?
I don't know.
You didn't think this through, did you?
I don't come from here
Where
at
do you,
all.
where do you come from exactly where you could just wander into somebody's place of work, take what you want, and expect nothing to come of it?
Usually I get away.
Oh, well. What kind of idiots? You just get away?
Yes. Who's going to, I don't know, pick on someone who looks like they're 16?
You don't look like you're 16.
Yeah, I know you can't see me. Because most of you can't see in the dark.
That and you're facing away from me.
Mm.
But thanks for letting me know you're not however old you look. Older than 16, apparently. But you're fine using it to your advantage to get what you want. Until somebody apparently catches you. And now you're
Well, I'm sorry. I need it more than other people do, so... It's not like I could get it through actual means.
What's stopping you? We're open during the day. What's the matter? Can't go out
Don't
at
have
night?
the money.
It's called
And
a
I'm
job.
pretty sure...
Are you sure you're not 16? You're sounding entitled enough. I don't know why she handed me that. But it was funny.
No, why don't you turn on the light and see for yourself?
She rolls her eyes a bit, goes over to where she knows the light switch is, and just kind of flicks it with her tail.
Mm-hmm. On the ground,
Mm-hmm.
the thing you knocked over, which is slowly sitting back up,
Mm-hmm.
appears to be a rag doll with
Mm-hmm.
button eyes and vibrant yarn red hair. The rag doll isn't carrying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And as you watch it get up, it starts walking towards the window again.
You didn't even do a decent stitch job on it. Why do you... if you're gonna steal it, can you at least do a decent...
Excuse me!
You're excused! Don't do it again!
Don't... Don't make fun of my work!
I'm not making
It's
fun
just
of
like...
it. I'm criticizing it.
He starts struggling in her grip again, so roll me an athletics check.
Okay, okay. Oh, yep, there we go.
So... This... So, he slips out, and you attempt to grab his horn, and it pops off. Fuck. And as he lands on the ground, he looks up, and you see red and teal glowing eyes. Wait a second. Wasn't this person sitting in one of the seats at that weird interview that you got stolen away from whatever it was you were doing?
Yeah,
during Animus.
Yeah, she was in the middle of Animus. She had things to do. She was with her mom and sister, and just then she was somewhere else. Then she was at this weird ass interview, and yeah, wasn't this weird? Wait a second, I've seen you before.
He pauses and just like shivers and looks up at you with this kind of the light in the shadow, because you can't see his face because it's completely in shadow underneath this hood. The light gets a little brighter as the mouth seems to just disappear. What do you mean you've seen me before? I haven't been to this place before.
Well, now you're the one making assumptions. You're assuming I've never left here. Though to be more specific, you're at that, what was, interview, I guess? some kind of, I don't even know what else to call it. That Mike guy on stage with that puppet thing. Now that was much better craftsmanship. Creepy as
He
anything.
whistles again, and the creature that was crawling out the window just stops.
Mm-hmm. Now are you gonna give back what you stole? Or are you going to
Backs up a couple steps.
Or are you going to regret this even more than you already are?
He walks over to the drawer.
Mm-hmm. Wait, hang on, I need to roll something really quick. Hang on, hang on. 16 intimidation.
Yeah. You notice that I'm not even going to roll.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that his small form starts shaking a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he reaches into the shadowy cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And pulls out the things that you notice were missing and puts them aside.
Mm-hmm.
By the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
Not really putting them away.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's not sure she would have trusted him to put them away, so she can at least see that he's taking the stuff out. And the lodestones.
Mm-hmm. The needle and the lodestones.
Mm-hmm.
In case you were wondering who's stupid enough to let me go, it's people in Villestown. Specifically.
Villestown?
Yes.
Huh. Can't say I've been there. She seems almost thoughtful at this information, and then looks back at him. If that's the case, then why are you stealing here?
Because we're passing through. Going somewhere.
Fair enough, I guess, but do you really think it's smart to steal from places you don't know?
I don't really have a choice.
Everyone has a choice. What do you mean you don't have a choice? She's still holding his horn, by the way. She doesn't know what to do with it. She just has it.
Yeah, she has it. There's also, he reaches back into the cloak. And pulls out a shovel. And drops it on the ground with a ting 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 ting.
She's such an annoyed look on her face. She was being intimidating before, but now she's just like, a shovel? Really? A shovel?
Yes.
And then you even stayed at the scene of the crime after you'd taken what you needed.
I was planning on leaving, but you walked down the fucking stairs. I heard you. Your hooves are loud, by the way.
Yes, and you're loud too. I heard you moving down here. Congratulations on being stealthy. Oh, wait, I heard you. Not to mention saw you.
This must be one of those plot things. Fucking.
What?
He reaches up into the shadow under, and the eyes kind of fizz a bit. You think he's pinching the bridge of his nose?
What, are you a toon under there?
No.
Didn't think so.
I pretended to be one for a bit. Didn't really work out.
Can't imagine why.
Hmm.
You seem knowledgeable enough about things.
Well, I got some really good advice. Starting to slowly move towards the window.
And where do you think you're going?
I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently I have to dig something up with my bare fucking hands.
What are you digging up? At what time is it even? She just like reaches into her pocket and just like takes out a little pocket watch to check the time.
It's 11:30. It's almost midnight.
Well, the fact that you're not doing anything at the witching hour is at least reassuring. What are you even digging up?
Why is that any of your business? I
Well,
don't have any of your things.
you don't have any of my things, but you're doing things in my town. And if I caught you, the guards are certainly going to have something to say about whatever it is you're doing.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have to, otherwise that thing is going to start wreaking havoc because I won't have it under my control anymore.
And what are you digging up
You,
to keep it into your control?
roll me a perception check because you've been in their presence long enough.
Okay. See if the dice like me or not. You said perception, right?
Perception.
12!
So, as you're thinking about what the hell could he be digging up,
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very specific smell of lilies and the smell of rotting clay when you are holding him.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as if, maybe this is not two living beings that you're looking at, but one living and one very much not living being. Perhaps even an undead. Like a zombie.
Her tail lashes a bit at that. Eyes narrowing a little as she looks between the two. I'll ask again. What do you need to be digging up?
Nothing you'll miss. He scooches a little bit closer to the window.
She takes a few steps forward that's not towards him exactly, but will be placing like herself between him and the window if they both keep moving.
The creature is still hanging out.
At that point, she like rolls her eyes. She steps over to it, just like plucks it up, puts it down, closes the window.
It's a lot heavier than a ragdoll should be.
Oof. Yeah, she probably has to like adjust her grip on it. Like she goes to like just lift it and she's like, "Oh, never mind. Hang on."
And as it shifts, it starts walking towards the window again.
Well, it's shut now.
He whistles again, and it stops. And then it starts moving again, this time just away from her.
She considers it a moment and then lets it go.
And it lumbers along until it places itself between him and her.
Okay. That's acceptable, at least.
I don't know why you're insisting I explain it to you.
Well, there's plenty of reasons, but since you're not in a mood to explain, I don't see why I should be.
Shakes his head. Looks out towards the window. We're starting to move backwards.
Why don't you just make this easier on yourself?
Because I already wasn't making it easier on myself.
And this doesn't seem to be helping.
Mm-hmm. It looks like he's trying to go up the stairs now. Like, that's where he's shuffling towards.
Oh, no. No, 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 no. You're not going up there.
As you say that, he looks at you, and then he starts just running towards the stairs.
She runs to tackle him.
Roll me an athletics check.
Yeah. This is hilarious.
The creature's just standing there doubling.
Yeah. 30-21!
I got a 7.
Oh!
You tackle him to the floor, and he...
So, how is this continuing to work out for you?
You know, I probably should have just asked my friends first to stop at some abandoned place, rather than a fucking inn.
You think? Oh, you know what? That actually sounds like a good idea. Congratulations. Too bad you can't turn back time.
No, I can't.
Nope, you're stuck
And
with
it's
me.
not like I could have convinced them either. Fucking, it tries to wiggle out.
Not happening.
Athletics check.
Sounds like a skill issue to me. Can't convince your
Oh,
friends.
you don't
Damn.
know them.
No. Learning a lot about you, though.
You're right, it's not happening. I rolled a natural 1.
How do you get more stuck?
So, you lean on him and he freezes. Could you please stop that?
Well, I mean, you keep running away.
Well, you're fucking terrifying. Why wouldn't I want to fucking run away?
Now, compliments won't get you anywhere.
He smells like grave dirt.
She thinks for a moment, her tail swishing idly.
He doesn't smell like flowers. He smells like grave dirt and rotting clay.
Gonna go dig up graves or something?
Yes.
Okay, well that's certainly not something I'm gonna go let you do. You're not. No, just no. You're not digging up graves. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not fucking kidding you.
You know, so far all you've done is make a really good argument for me to hand you over to the guards.
Great, you're gonna hand me over. And what are they going to do next? Try to fucking put me in the ground again? Please don't fucking do that.
I was going to think a jail cell or something, but seem a bit too
Put
animated to be put into the ground, but considering that's what will piss you off, I'm half tempted.
make me an insight check.
Okay. Where's my
Especially
insight?
because he starts struggling in earnest and scrabbling, and you can hear his nails against the ground. He's trying to get away from you now.
Mm-hmm. 11.
He's terrified.
She sighs and just kind of like gently baps at his head with her tails, like, hey, hey, word of advice. If you're terrified of something, maybe don't, tell people about it, especially if you're already terrified of them. Have you ever considered that, maybe?
Well, apparently making it easier for myself is talking. It's fucking.
Yes, that's working for you so far. Yes, brilliant. All right, look. Whatever I'm gonna take out of your hide if I decide to do so, I'm not gonna put you in the ground, alright? Smell badly enough of grave dirt and moldy clay. Why can't you at least use good clay? At least deal with your own stink. Holy. Ugh.
You know how much I can't fucking do that.
What, the calm down part or the good clay part?
He just peers over his shoulder at you and narrows his eyes.
She just gives him the most calm, casual look, as if they were just vibing.
Don't fucking hand me over. They're going to dispel me.
What are you?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay, what is your. Alright, definitely not one of your preferred things, but who knows what the dice will say? I already forgot it. Okay. Oh shit! That's it. That's a natural. That's a nat 20.
So, with all the clues that she has, he's worried that if you turn him over to the police, they'll put him back in the ground. Back in the ground. He's not alive. He's undead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you, with the fact of he doesn't have a choice, obviously what he was trying to do is replace something in himself to keep himself moving.
She just gives.
And it's also
Mm-hmm.
why he smells of rotting clay and grave dirt and can't fucking help it.
Mm-hmm.
He's an undead made with clay tune parts.
Do you want to roll an insight?
Oh yeah, definitely. 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're scared, but she's just quiet a moment, and she's just like looking at you, like eyes like kind of narrowed, mouth kind of pursed, and she's just like looking at you thoughtfully.
Let me go and I'll just disappear. You won't ever see me again. Just let me go.
Mm. I'm gonna roll. She closes her eyes a moment and sighs. No. not 16-year-old undead dumbass. She kind of like steadies her legs and uses her tail to help her keep balance as she like stands up, still holding him, walks over to one of the work stools and pulls it out with her foot and just like unceremoniously just plops him on it to sit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, look, you're not getting her grave. What broke? Come on. She starts like putting the tools away and then taking out a few other things.
What?
Look, you're undead. You can at least work with a few other things, right? Come on.
I don't know.
Well,
I
first,
learned necromancy to keep myself alive.
well, does regular healing work or what?
Little bit. But it's not... doesn't stop the rotting.
So, do you need regular? What kind of regular clay? I've got. Let's see. This
He's
is
just staring at you like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Like her tail's just wavering idly behind herself, and she like goes to one cupboard, then another. Like this is for China. This is the B mix. You can get up to cone 10 with this. Although I guess if you just want earthen clay, that's got dirt in it though. It's more likely to rot. Certain kind of woods though. We've got more wood here than anything else, though the main stock is down at the warehouse. And then plus your spellcasting ability. Okay, so whoops, roll 1d8 plus 7. Oh damn, that's 12. Okay. And she's walking around the stool where she like plopped you down. One of the times her tail just completely smacks you in the face and heals you for 12 damage.
Heals you for 12 damage. It actually heals 6.
Fair enough.
Well, it's because Awakened Undead.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Look, you need something that decays less than what you've got, obviously. Otherwise, you're just going to have to keep repairing it or replacing it.
The problem is that I have to use flesh to keep myself alive.
Okay, but why flesh specifically? Like, you've got clay in there, too.
That's flesh.
Alright, well...
Do you want to see?
She just pauses, looks at him, and just shrugs. Kind of leaving it up to him.
He just... kicks off his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Takes his pants off.
I didn't tell you to... Why are you white?
As he does, you notice that his right leg is eating away itself.
You didn't treat it or anything. Why don't you just get a prosthetic?
Because all of me is rotting. And why the fuck would the living help someone like me? But besides the two tunes that I'm... They're weird! They're aliens!
Look,
just kind of...
Just because they come from some place you don't, doesn't...
No!
I mean, she's obviously not gonna think of space first!
They're from space!
She just
He is wearing underwear, by the way.
Okay, I figured.
I want to clarify.
Yeah.
He's got underwear on.
Oh god.
You do notice that he did use some thread
Mhm.
to like hold it together
Mhm.
so it wouldn't get any worse.
Okay.
And it's long, thick pieces of thread
Mhm. Mhm.
across the where it's eating away at itself.
Okay. Look, it's just if you had something else, it at least wouldn't be able to affect other pieces. You would have some stability between. She just motions to him, like, wouldn't it be good to at least have some parts of yourself that you wouldn't have to worry about?
If that would work.
Well, why wouldn't it work? Wood's reliable, especially if you treat it right and get the right kind.
Circle back to the thing of why would the living help someone like me?
Okay, so here's the thing. That's not the question I'm at. Just fucking forget that question. Stop coming back to that question. Would it help?
I don't know.
Well, why didn't you ever
The
find
only
out?
thing that's helped so far is fucking using necromancy
So you haven't tried
and
anything
sewing
else.
myself fucking together.
She just like rolls her eyes and she starts like taking out a few pieces of wood, looking at them, putting them down.
You're starting to think that he is still 16 because he died when he was.
Hmm. Her silently to herself, he certainly acts like it. So what, do you need to eat like that or anything, or?
No, I don't eat.
Hmm. Some undead do, some don't. Seems to be a hit or miss.
No, I'm not that kind.
Hmm. What kind are you then? She's like gotten another stool and she starts sitting down as she's like carving away at this piece of wood.
But I'm obviously not a skeleton.
Well, I don't know. You could have patched yourself on top of one. Didn't think of that now, did you?
He moves so he could show you more of the eaten away. It's just clay in there. There's no
Ah.
bone.
Well, well, it was possible until I saw that, but hey. Well, I guess there still could be a skeleton under the clay, but she shrugs like she's abandoning that thought process. It's like, yes, this is possible. Probably not, though.
I don't know if there is or not. I didn't initially make this.
You didn't make the U?
Yes.
Well, who did then?
Fuck if I know.
So,
Probably the person who initially owns the grimoire I have.
so you just woke up and they were gone?
No. I woke up and I heard someone talking like they were going to dispose of me. So
Oh.
I ran.
Well, at least you woke up before then.
Talking like I was a failed experiment.
You're pretty alive for a failed experiment. Undeadness aside.
I don't know. I haven't run into the person who made the body originally.
Is this your original body, or is this like...
It's not.
Oh. Oh, what do you used to look like then?
He reaches up and just pulls the hood a little further.
Mm.
Even though it's magically covering his face.
Mm-hmm.
I have to roll a history check. Oh, so we do remember. That's 16 plus 2.
Ooh.
My skin was like yours. And I was taller.
She pauses and looks at her arm, looks back at him. You were blue? Or alive?
Yes,
Oh. Huh.
there's a lot of Furbolg who are.
A furball?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Not what I am exactly, but... You can
No,
definitely...
your turn.
There's enough who think I'm a furball, despite the fact that I am nowhere near tall enough to be one. Why put you in a body like that then if it's not what you're supposed to be?
Because I suppose they didn't know they were getting me.
Oh, so just a random
They
grab?
were
Or...
trying to do anything, I suppose.
Huh.
I don't know. I didn't steal the notes.
Damn, you probably would have gotten a lot of information with those notes too.
Yes, but then the organization that's after me would probably come after me a hell of a lot quicker.
Got a whole organization after you?
Yes, they call themselves the Order.
Doesn't
One
sound...
of them even found their way really high into the Giblin government. Somehow.
Hmm. She kind of pauses at that and just kind of busies herself a moment switching out tools. Like she's focusing on what she's doing for a moment as opposed to thinking over what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Why a fake horn of all things? You didn't even properly attach it to yourself.
It was properly attached this morning, but the glue wears off throughout the day.
That's why you don't use glue. You use a band to secure it in your hair if you do. You hide the band, you hide the horn looks natural. It's like coming out of your eyebrow. You didn't even fit it to your face properly.
It's coming out of my forehead. He
You just
points up to the eyes. Those are created from the fucking cloak that I'm wearing. That's not where my actual eyes are.
well, that's just gonna confuse people.
Yes, that's the point.
I don't think it worked out so well this time. And she just like finally like just tosses the horn back over to him. Besides, it just looks like you broke one
Mm-hmm.
off.
Yeah, I have the other, but I was trying to ferret a tail that I didn't manage to.
She just kind of gives a like a very purposeful curl and flick of her own tail, like, ah yes, tail.
He just kind of takes the horn and puts it shoves it into the space.
Mm-hmm. At least put
You
it
know
on.
he's not a toon, so he probably has a bag of holding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Put a little higher, otherwise it's going to look like it's coming out of your eyebrow. No, it still looks like it's coming out of your eyebrow. Do you even use a mirror when you put that thing on?
I don't own a mirror.
Why have, of all the things you've, why don't, do you know how, it's a mirror.
Hmm. Do you know how expensive mirrors are?
You were fine enough to steal my more expensive tools, why not just...
I was going to return them.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to roll an insight?
Of course I do. 10.
Well, she's thinking something as you say that. She's
Mhm.
possibly not believing you, but it's hard to tell.
No, of course she can't. She wouldn't believe me. What do you know?
Well, a lot more than you, apparently.
Uh-huh. Sure.
And what is it I don't know?
You have a job. You're alive.
Mm-hmm.
You work for a living and you get the rewards of living. I have nothing to my name.
You think that, huh?
And anyone that I had ever known before I woke up, they're all dead. Or, and his eyes start to shine. Specifically, the teal one starts to shine brighter.
Mm-hmm.
Or they've betrayed.
Hmm. Hmm. What about your name? Hmm?
I'm not going to give you that so easily.
Nah, you misunderstand. I'm not asking for it. Do you have one?
Yes. I have two.
Hmm.
The one that I used to have and the one that I have now. So the one that I used to have, I can't remember.
Hmm.
At least not all of it.
Hmm. You've got that. And she kind of motions to the weird doll thing.
That's a cleric who tried to literally turn me to dust.
Hmm.
And instead, we ended her life. And then to try to hide the evidence, I turned her into that. I don't really have that. That's a zombie.
You've got a skill, let's say that much.
A skill that most people would not want me around for. Obviously.
Hmm. Except for those
Him referring to exactly your thoughts earlier.
mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, she's not arguing now either.
No.
And what about those friends you mentioned?
Don't know why they still stay.
Hmm. But they are.
Or
They do.
why they fucking chased me halfway across the continent.
Hmm.
Well, yes. Halfway across Ghibli.
Hmm. You got your clothes. Well, I mean, your shoes and pants are still on the floor, but...
At the mention of that, he pulls his pants back on and then his shoes.
I was wondering how long you were going to sit around like that.
Don't fucking know.
Well, you do seem to know a few things. What else do you know?
All of my money went into fixing my camera.
Camera?
I want to be a film director. I need a
Huh.
camera for that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard without it.
They're expensive.
You're not wrong. I've never tried to own one of those myself. Never really cared to.
Well, you have your hobbies and I have mine.
Hmm. True enough.
Although it's only a distraction.
Hmm.
He sounds so sad when he says that.
Hmm. A distraction from what?
My purpose.
Your purpose.
You were asking what kind of undead I am.
Mm-hmm. I did.
The purpose here is to kill the people who are responsible for my death.
Hmm.
They're still alive some fucking how. Even so many centuries afterwards.
Hmm. Well,
I don't know how long it's been.
there's a lot who live longer than others. Not too surprising.
If they weren't alive, I wouldn't come back.
Why do you want to kill them then? Wouldn't you get to stay alive if they do?
Can't not.
Do you want to finish?
Don't have a choice.
How do you not have a choice?
If I don't not chase after them, I rot faster.
Uh, and what if you take care of this rotting problem? What then?
I can't replace my head.
Can't be moved to a different one?
No.
Why not?
Because if it disconnects, I'll be gone. I won't be here anymore.
Hmm.
I can replace pieces of the faceplate, but I can't remove the whole thing. fall to pieces.
And it goes quiet for a moment, and there's just the sound of woodworking.
He took an intentional breath.
Mm-hmm.
Part of my problem right now.
Speak up, kiddo.
I'm not pursuing them. So I'm rotting faster and rotting away. Especially because one of them is traveling us.
She kind of raises her eyebrows at that and looks at you.
He's not looking in her direction.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking towards the window.
Mm-hmm.
And the red is dim as the teal is shining brightly.
Mm-hmm.
There's conflict in that
Mm-hmm.
voice.
Mm-hmm.
The instinct of the kind of undead he is
Mm-hmm.
versus who that person was to him.
Mm. She's quiet for a moment and looks back to the wood she's holding, and after a moment she's like, "You're right. Don't know much about that. I know a lot about this." And she waves the piece of wood she's holding a little bit before returning to work on it. Although, there's a lot I don't know, too. But this wood is almost like second nature. How much do you know about cypress wood?
Don't know anything about cypress wood.
Oh. Any kind of wood at all?
No.
Yeah.
There's a pause,
Mm-hmm.
like he reached for something that wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Most people don't. It's not too surprising. Cypress, strong and light, very durable. It's not something, well, most woods you don't want to use for just anything. There's always something for something. Cypress, though, harder to burn, very resistant to decay. It's pretty good wood for a lot of stuff. Sometimes you just, it's more used outside. You can use it for trusses, molding, make a whole fence out of it if you want. Patio or some such. But you can also just use it like this. So I'm carving it down here. She just kind of pauses a moment. She like looks down the length of the wood, examining it. And then she like takes out one of the carving tools. I think I got it right. I've worked in a rush before. Sometimes we've had
He
to.
gets off of the stool and kind of just leans over to see what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. She's kind of like scratching in like a more hidden place on it, like where it wouldn't be so obvious.
Mhm.
She's actually make a maybe a let's see a perception to try and see what it is, or an investigation to see if he can parse what she's doing.
I'll try to see if investigation.
Yay, yay, yay.
8.
Eight.
My dice aren't being nice to
Oh,
me.
they're not. Do you want to use the bot? Do you want to try and use Dice Parser?
No.
That's fair.
No.
Yeah, it's not like Dice Parser.
Dice Parser hates me too.
That's fair. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, Dice Parser usually doesn't like people either.
I think part of the problem might be that I haven't used him in so long.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell what she's doing, but it looks like she's like almost like lightly burning some kind of mark into it, and you could tell she's right. Like it's very like it's enough to stain it, but you could tell like this wood isn't catching. It's also not tinder or anything, but yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. So yeah, she's like just she's not sure what it is. It's like maybe it's a signature or something. It's like a jagged mark.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like it's more in a hidden spot. Like to you wouldn't know it until like you looked for it.
Yeah.
All right. Uh huh. Well, it's the first attempt, so I don't know how well this is going to be, but how easily can you take pieces of yourself off?
Lucifer walks back to the stool and gets back up onto it.
Mhm.
Takes his pants off. What? He's gotta.
I know, it's still funny.
Also his shoes.
Mhm.
But what you have to notice, he doesn't have any socks, but his feet are just like the ends of socks. He doesn't have toes.
Huh. She's not sure if that would encourage foot rot or not, and she's not going to comment on it.
And he gauges for a moment which piece he'd have to unsew for reaching,
Mhm.
because each piece of the leg is sewn.
Yeah. So
For
it's
he reaches into under his cloak
Mhm.
into the bag of holding.
Mhm.
And he pulls out a very, very small pair of scissors.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have a seam ripper.
Mhm. She actually sees that, like, smacks his hand away, goes to the drawer, pulls out a seam ripper. It's like,
Hey!
you're gonna,
Careful!
you careful. You're gonna damage yourself more with those scissors. Look, use this. Make sure you give it back. Honestly. She just
He
huffs.
puts Yeah, the scissors he pulled out are medical scissors.
Well,
For specifically cutting surgical thread.
I'd say she might not have smacked his hand away yet, but she also might not have realized they were surgical scissors, so.
Just narrows his eyes and don't need a seam ripper. And he very carefully, when he opens them, their ends are curved. Not in any kind of way that a regular scissors would be. He slips one edge underneath and carefully snips a single thread
Mhm.
And the leg slides before coming off.
Mhm.
And he catches it before it hits the ground.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so she waits for that
He
and
just kind of looks at her with a look like, you
mhm.
think I don't know what I'm doing? Criticizing my work.
She seems like the faintest smile and a flicker of her tail. Like she's more
Don't
amused than
even
anything
know what a
else.
pair of surgical scissors is.
She flicks her tail at his face, and she takes the what she's carved, and she fits the part of his like just below the knee because he's got that part there, and it
Mhm.
kind of fits into it almost like how you have like stack cups,
Yeah.
and she like slots it in, and so it's just like seems to, and it just kind of like fits there. And it's like, so you probably fit your foot to the bottom side here. I made a part for that, but lines up with your knee, I think. Yeah. All right. Looks like I was able to eyeball that pretty well. Huh. Not bad for a bit of midnight work. All right, give me your foot. Let me see if it fits the other end.
He flips the end of the leg around and starts unsewing the foot.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a little bit trickier. He has to go a little slower with those surgical scissors
Mm-hmm.
and snip a couple more threads.
Mm-hmm. She just waits, not saying anything. And
And
when.
after a moment, he pulls it apart
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and offers the foot.
Yeah.
it it doesn't really look like a foot.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a block of clay,
Yeah. Yeah.
pale block of clay
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with the vague, you know, hint of feet in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The vague hint of toes.
And she takes it and she like attaches it the best she can to the bottom part. It's like, all right,
It's
yeah,
cold.
yeah. She's not surprised. Like he's undead. It would be weirder if it wasn't cold, probably.
Yeah, it's cold and it feels a little crumbly.
She resists rolling her eyes just this once. She tries not to be too rough with it.
Mhm. He's just kind of watching her.
All right. Okay. Now, all right. Up you get. Let's see if I measured that right. Come on. Stand up.
He does take the rotting piece of wood and store it away.
Mm-hmm.
The not wood, the rotting piece of clay that
Yeah.
he was just holding
Yeah.
and stores it away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he slowly sides off
Mm-hmm.
because he's not entirely sure how this is going to work.
Mm-hmm. So I know, like, he probably doesn't have the equivalence of muscles, but basically, if he flexes his leg, the prosthetic kind of responds in kind.
Mhm.
So it's probably different than what he's used to working with, but he should be able to stand and walk around with
Yeah.
it.
Mhm. So I'm going to have to probably roll him
Yeah.
something.
Like, dexterity?
Dexterity.
Yeah. Dexterity makes sense.
From. Mhm. Because he's not used to having to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he slides off.
Mm-hmm.
And he's initially surprised, like, it doesn't just come apart.
Mm-hmm.
There's a kind of sickly green spark, and then he falls over
Oh.
because the leg doesn't bend.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No. Okay.
And he's face planted on the ground for a moment.
You're supposed to bend at the knee. The joint's still there. Come on. She just like takes him by the scruff and just like lifts him back up.
And it does bend.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
as she's lifting him, he panics and starts kicking,
Yeah. It's
like automatically.
Yeah. She's like, look, see, it's not that hard.
There's this kind of stuttery movement
Mm-hmm.
that he goes through as if he were a Hausen tune.
Hmm. She tilts her head a little bit at that, and then just like lowers him back down a little bit so his feet are on the ground. Come on. Stop thinking of it like it's a stiff piece of wood. It's an extension of yourself. Come on. Actually, what was the last piece? That was clay, right?
Yeah.
This is probably lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's probably what's also throwing him off too. The fact that it's
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Because the last piece was solid clay.
Oh, this would be so much lighter then. Yeah.
So much lighter.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's throwing him off balance. It's
Yeah.
an 8.
Oh, jeez. So do you just really like the floor here, or?
So what happens is he tries to attempt to make a step and he manages to bend it. Yeah. But he bends it too far and he falls over.
Oh, jeez. If you keep this up, I'm gonna think you like the floor.
Get up again. Shakily.
What are you coughing for? You don't need to breathe.
I hit the ground.
I noticed. I was here.
And actually, as he does that crack, 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 it's almost like he was setting his spine back into place kind of noise.
He probably does grimace a little bit of that.
It's weird. He doesn't seem to have bones, but he makes those kinds of noises.
Yeah, especially thought he was in tune because it's just like, are you or are you not? You're very confusing.
He's undead, made with tune parts. So there's a lot of movements he can accomplish that most, real kind cannot.
Makes sense.
Let's try it again.
Yep.
14
Ooh,
on the dice. That
nice
means that's a 15.
Nice.
So he goes a little slower this time.
Doesn't try to run immediately.
Yeah. Doesn't try to take off immediately. It is just walking slowly. Being very... Actually, here's what it is. He wasn't thinking about it. And because he wasn't thinking about it, and he's used to using necromancy to move the limbs, instead of actually using what's there. And she felt how heavy the foot is. That's a solid piece of clay.
Yeah.
Which is very strange. Considering most clay toons aren't solid. Hausen
Yeah.
toons aren't solid like that.
Yeah. It probably doesn't show up in her face, but like her tail just kind of wavers a little, like that. Because yeah, it's weird. It's just like, huh, that's not right.
And she does remember how his chest crinkled.
Yeah.
So that's probably hollow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why aren't his limbs the same?
Yeah. It's definitely weird. She just kind of.
It's also clear that these are a bunch of different parts scavenged across
Mm-hmm.
however long he's existed.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There
He
you.
manages to actually walk normally.
Yeah. See? There you go. What'd I say? Wood's pretty good, huh?
Why are you doing this?
What?
She's kind of looking at her like, why are you helping me?
Who said anything about helping? I'm just doing a bit of late night work. Got bored.
Hmm. He's gonna slowly walk over and pull his pants back on.
You're just like starting to like tidy up the mess from the work as she's doing that, and she takes out like this small jar, and she's just like, "Hey," and tosses it to him.
Manages to catch it, but it have to, he
Mm-hmm.
juggles it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. It's a finish. Helps keep the wood from fading if you want it to keep its color. You need to apply it every like 2-3 years. You need a new coat.
Okay. Take it and put it in the shadow of the cloak.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I very carefully write that down.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just a sealant. Just
Mm-hmm.
the basic clear one.
Jar. Just kind of staring at her for a moment.
Mhm. As long as you take care of that, that should last about 40 years, give or take. Past that, that's for sure. Like I
Mm.
said, cypress is durable, stable, water and rot resistant, hard to burn, so well, as long as you take care of it.
Thank you.
Mm. She just kind of shrugs and just. Do you want to do Persepi?
Yeah. This is gonna be the last one.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
after this, he's gonna leave.
Oh no, yeah, 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 yeah.
Taking Lily with him.
Mhm. Oh, he has a lily too. This is this is
uh,
hilarious.
the zombie's name is Liliana.
Ah.
That's why she smells like lilies.
That's what I figured. That's what I figured. But the coincidence just, huh.
11.
11.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not hidden away or anything. So like, as he's probably like doing like one last glance around, he probably sees off to one side like a photo frame of them and two others. and you see what you're assuming is her mom
Mhm.
and her younger sister.
I mean, family resemblance,
Oh yeah.
okay.
Oh no. Yes. Yes. Well, they're not identical, but yes. But it's more that you think because he was asking, it's like, why are you doing this? And it's just like, eh, eh. And she's just like tidying up and everything. And as you see that, she like goes over, opens the window, and just kind of like looks out a moment, and just kind of like gives a sigh, goes back over towards her desk, and seems to kind of purposely have her back to the window. And it's just like, guards around here are usually pretty effective. They should be on their, I don't know the route of the guards here. That would be more, she's just like, they won't be past this part for another half an hour or so. That's all she says. Double checking her tools, cleaning things.
So that's a 13 and a 15. What's her passive perception?
14.
Mhm. So she hears the p of soft feet outside,
Mm-hmm.
but anything else, there's nothing. No sound. And when she turns around, they're gone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's exactly what she was expecting. So she just like stands there a minute, looks around as if, making sure. It's like, okay, you didn't go back underneath the table. Good. She plump.
No, took off.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably in the direction of one of the inns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she goes. She closes the window. She sighs. It's just like almost as if she herself isn't too sure why she did that either. She double checks the lock on the window. Just clearly, I am going to have to do something about that.
Doesn't look damaged.
Well, she can appreciate that at least.
So it's very likely he used some sort of thieves' tools to get it open.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Instead of a knife, trying
Mm-hmm.
to jimmy it open and leaving scratches on the
Yeah, no,
window
they're
frame.
the only actual evidence of his passage through here is what
Mm-hmm.
you had to clean up, the shovel
Mm-hmm.
on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and the tools on
Mm-hmm.
the side by the
Mm-hmm.
open drawer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she just, very carefully cleans up, puts everything where it's supposed to go, take care of your workspace and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And she just like gives it all one last look around and sighs. I gotta be up in 3 hours. Okay.
Damn, 2 a.m. start? Why?
Well, I figured they were talking there for a while.
It's 3 a.m. start? It's probably just midnight.
Oh, I pegged it for like maybe 1 a.m. or something.
Mm-mm.
So yeah.
I mean, it could be 1 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, it's like, oh,
4
5
a.m.
hours.
start is rough.
Yeah. She can get up at 6. She can get up at 6. How about that? She can have 5 hours.
And thus, the wild. He did not, in fact, regret that.
Aww. Well, he probably regretted the first half, though.
He regretted getting caught.
Yeah. Yeah. But if he got
and not being as stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And thus, Blaze, you make me need to redraw his wrath again.
I'm sorry! I wasn't even expecting this! Oh,
If I had a nickel for every time a character not initially associated to this one who just decided to give him a thing, I would have 2 nickels.
Damn, keep this up, you're gonna be in competition with Hex.
Alright, goodbye everybody!
Goodbye! Thank you for listening! Bye!